What's going on, you guys? It's Scott from Fly Rides here today with your Friday release. Today we are checking out the best low-step bikes for off-road and on-road riding. Low-step bikes have become more and more popular for both men and women riders because they are easy to get on, easy to get off, and there is just less chance of injury, less stuff to run into. So we are focusing mostly on wave frame style bikes. Those are gonna be the type of bikes that don't have any crossbar at all. What? Who would have thought? The reason we're focusing on these is because they have become more and more popular for riders of all shapes and sizes. Companies have been able to make these bikes more and more sturdy. Traditionally, they might have been a little bit more squirrely in the handling, or there was a little bit more flex overall. But now these wave frames are just like regular bikes. They ride exactly the same. Like this video and subscribe to the Fly Rides electric bike channel so that you can stay up to date on all things in the electric bike world, and so that you can hear some electric bike stories from people like you. Let's check out the best low-step electric bikes for off-road and on-road usage. So starting off with our off-road wave frame bikes, we have got the Bulls Copperhead Evo HD Wave. This is a bike that I was so excited to get to ride, not only because it is a low-step off-road mountain bike, but also because it is a return to hardtail electric mountain bikes. They kind of went away for a while. There weren't a whole ton of electric mountain bikes coming out that were hardtails. I'm a really big fan of hardtails. It keeps costs down, and you can still perform on some single track, definitely fire roads. They're a little bit more approachable price-wise for most people. You got the Bosch Generation 4 Performance CX motor on here, so you got 85 Newton meters of torque, along with an integrated 625 watt-hour battery. It is a very powerful 85 Newton meter torque motor, and that 625 watt-hours should get you riding for at least 40 to 60 miles pretty easily, maybe even further if you're turning off that motor sometimes. Bulls has outfitted you with everything you would want on an electric mountain bike. You've got a dropper seat post on there, Magura MT5 hydraulic disc brakes in the front, and in the back you've got MT4 hydraulic disc brakes, so some really strong stopping power on here. Plus size tires, the Schwalbe Smart Sams, so they're gonna get you on even the toughest of fire roads. You've got solid travel in the front too with 120 millimeters. That's why I would more so call this an electric mountain bike as opposed to just an off-road like fire road or trail bike. This is some serious travel, and it's got some serious components, so you could actually use this as a genuine hardtail mountain bike. Let's check out the next bike. Next up, we have got the Riese Muller Nevo 3, specifically with the GX option. So the GX option is something that you can add to just about any Riese Muller bike at this point. It transforms your bike for a very, very low cost into a little bit more of an off-road juggernaut. So it's gonna add some knobbier tires on there, some wider pedals, and some more trail-appropriate grips as well. The GX option on the Nevo 3 is definitely something to consider if you are looking for something that's gonna be a trail commuter. It's not as mountain-appropriate probably as the first two bikes on here, but it will still definitely get the job done on fire roads, gravel, even some rooty and rocky stuff. As with all Riese Muller bikes, there are going to be loads of options on the Nevo 3. You can get up to 1125 watt-hours on some sizes, the 47, the 51, and the 56, with a 625 watt-hour battery in the down tube and a 500 watt-hour power pack in the rear rack. Adding a front rack and having that dual battery 1125 watt-hour option on the Nevo 3 GX could end up making this a really solid option for low-step bike packing. So if you're looking for something that's gonna be able to take you on those kind of trails, some fire roads, maybe a little bit of single track, but something that you can carry gear with, this could be a great option for you if you wanna go off-road and keep it in a low-step option. Of course, you've got the Bosch Performance CX Generation 4 motor on here. You can get the speed model as well. Both of those are going to be 85 Newton meters of torque. Another thing to point out about the Nevo 3 is, again, just how versatile it is. You're gonna have integrated lights. You already get that rear rack standard. Even with the GX option, those Rock Razor tires aren't gonna be completely inappropriate for roads, They are more designed for gravel, but you can still use them on roads pretty effectively. Safety-wise, they have got you set up with a Magura MT5 hydraulic disc brake in the front and a Magura MT4 in the back. Again, should be plenty of stopping power for a bike like this. Your fork comes from Suntour. It is the Ion fork. It's 100 millimeters of travel. And of course, you're getting that hand-built frame and hand-built bike from Riese Muller. Next up, we have got the Cube Nuride Pro Allroad. This is a brand new bike from Cube coming to the States this year, and I think it is going to be a very popular option for a lot of riders. It has some solid on and off-road capabilities, but the reason, of course, I want to focus on it in this section is because of its off-road capabilities. Of course, you've got that Bosch Generation 4 Performance CX motor, 85 Newton meters of torque. It's a Suntour fork on here with 100 millimeters of travel, a Shimano Dior derailleur with 11 to 46 teeth in the back. That is a 10-speed derailleur. Integrated lights, front and rear. You also have fenders on this bike. It's a bike that can take you on fire roads. I would say on a little bit of single track. You're not going to want to do anything super rock garden-y just because of the 100 millimeters of travel, but it's a great option for some trail commuting or even some casual off-road riding. It's a great all-around bike, but it is going to perform very well on the trails. Make sure to keep an eye out for our full review on this bike because this is going to be a bike you do not want to miss. That brings us to our next bike, our next excellent option for low-step off-road usage, and that is going to be the new Riese Muller Homage. Riese Muller has just redesigned their very popular full suspension low step option. That's right, this is the first bike that is going to be low step and full suspension and has some great off-road usage when you get the GX trim. The main attraction of this new Riese Muller Homage is that you can get integrated dual 625 watt-hour batteries in this frame. So that means there is no top tube, and you can still have dual batteries. It is batteries akimbo, one's on the left, one's on the right, and you can integrate both these 625 watt-hour batteries for a grand total of 1,250 watt-hours. Again, this is a bike packer's dream, and if you're just someone who likes to be out on the trails all day, you're probably getting up to 100 miles on here pretty easily. Riese Muller's full suspension system is called Control Technology. It is designed to be comfortable, but also very safe. It'll keep those wheels on the ground on the trails. Similar to the Nevo, you are getting integrated lights, Magura MT5 in the front and a Magura MT5 disc brake in the back. Those, of course, are both hydraulic disc brakes. I haven't mentioned yet, it is the Bosch Performance CX Generation 4 motor, if you have not guessed, and you can get the speed motor as well. Just bear in mind where you can use those Class 3 bikes. If you're someone who really wants to go in the backcountry and doesn't want to worry about a chain, both the Riese Muller Nevo and Homage can come with the Vario hub with a Gates carbon belt drive or the roll-off hub as well. Riese Muller turns this into somewhat of a full suspension electric mountain bike by adding a dropper seat post if you want on the Homage. That is, again, just very nice to have on any bike. I like to think of the Homage as kind of the original SUV style bike. So it's full suspension, it's low step, it's accessible for everybody, and it can take you bikepacking, it can take you mountain biking, it has front and rear racks if you want to get them. It is just a juggernaut, and Riese Muller really led the way in this style of bike. More companies are coming out with these full suspension low step options, but I think Riese Muller still does it the best. So moving into the bikes that are going to be better for on roads. Of course, the Nevo and the Homage, they're Riese Muller bikes, they're pretty versatile. You can get these in trims that are going to be best for road usage. So instead of having those Rock Razor tires on there, you are going to have Supermoto X tires from Schwalbe. But there are also some bikes that are going to be designed specifically for road usage and that are going to give you that wave frame. Leading the way on this is going to be Gazelle. Gazelle makes incredible Dutch bikes with Bosch motors, and I would say they are going to be the best option in terms of wave frame bikes for on-road usage. First up, we've got the Gazelle Arroyo C8 HMB Elite. This is going to have an integrated 500 watt-hour battery, the Bosch Active Line Plus motor for a true to cycling feel, and of course, that wave frame design we've been talking about. It is an incredibly versatile bike with a fully adjustable stem, so it can fit a lot of different riders. It can keep you just about as upright as you want to be, but you can be a little bit more aggressive in like a hybrid riding style as well. It's got everything you would want in a bike that's kind of designed to go around town and do some commuting. You've got a rear integrated rack, front and rear fenders, and of course front and rear lights. The Bosch Active Line Plus motor is going to be one of the most silent motors on the market, but it still provides 50 Newton meters of torque for some significant climbing power, and if you're towing things like groceries or your gear for the day, it is going to provide you enough power that you're not breaking out into a sweat. You've got a Shimano Nexus 8-speed internally geared hub on this, and your pants are fully protected from getting dirty with a nice little chain guard on there. Wave frame bikes are generally designed with comfort in mind, and the Gazelle Arroyo is no exception. This is probably one of the most comfortable bikes I have ever ridden. Finally, we have got the Gazelle Ultimate T10 HMB. This is one of the newest bikes from Gazelle, and if the Arroyo is a little bit more of a cruise around town on the weekends kind of bike, the Ultimate T10 HMB is going to be definitely more utilitarian. It's great for commuting. You've got a Shimano Dior XT derailleur on here, hydraulic disc brakes, 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear, and you've got a Bosch Performance Line motor, which is going to offer 65 Newton meters of torque and a 500 watt-hour integrated battery. Should be good for 30 to 50 miles pretty easily. So if you're a commuter and you want something that's a little bit heftier from Gazelle, but you still want that wave frame, then this is going to be the way to go. You've still got things like the integrated rack and integrated lights, which are definitely things that commuters are going to want to see, but it still offers that comfort and upright ride like the Arroyo. So how do you know if a wave frame is going to be right for you? Well, there's a couple things you want to think about. A lot of people with joint issues, specifically in their knees and their hips, love wave frames. Sometimes people with hip problems even have a tough time with the mixta and low step frames. So the wave frames really come into handy if you are experiencing any hip dysplasia or knee issues, anything like that. You are really going to love these wave frame bikes. Wave frame bikes are also great for riders who want to be kept a little more upright. Maybe you've got some issues with your back and you want to be having as good a posture as possible. They often come with adjustable stems, swept back handlebars, and other things that make it possible to have the most upright ride possible. Another reason I would recommend wave frame bikes is if you are someone who is looking for the ability to fit in a little bit more. With the advent of integrated batteries, these bikes really look like acoustic bikes, so you can't really tell the difference in a lot of situations between a wave frame bike that is electric and a wave frame bike that is acoustic. So if you're someone who's concerned about that kind of thing, these also might be a good option for you. So those are going to be Flyride selections for the best low step off-road and on-road bikes. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the Flyride's electric bike channel. Leave a comment below, let me know if you think I left any out or if you're going to be grabbing one of these wave frame low step bikes in the near future. And don't forget to check out our full reviews of each of these bikes as they come out, or check out the ones that are already out as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. We will see you next time, and until then, enjoy the ride.